Hello guys, and how you doing? So welcome to this live. I'm gonna flip you around. Look, let me flip you around. There we go. That's better. Look, I've got to set you all up beautifully. Oh, it won't let me do it. It won't let me do it. So do not worry. I'm just gonna set that up there like so. So hello and welcome to what is a secondary gain. So this is something that I come across a great deal. I come across it a lot. So a secondary gain is when we really don't want something. We want to get rid of something desperately, but unfortunately we're getting something out of it, or the body's getting something out of it, or we're getting something out of it emotionally or psychologically. Often people won't even realise what it is that they're getting out of it until we start doing a bit of digging and stuff like this. So for instance, someone can say to me, I really hate migraines, I hate them, I can't live with them any longer, Anna, I need to sort this out, I need to get rid of them, they're ruining my life. But when they have a migraine, perhaps their partner or their husband or wife is lovely to them when they have a migraine. That is a secondary gain. So then the body or the brain goes, oh, well, I love that. That is gorgeous. Why would I want to get rid of that? Or if someone is emotionally eating and they go, I hate it, I'm binging, I feel awful, I feel terrible guilt afterwards, I can't cope with this anymore. But perhaps when they're eating, they bond with one of their children, or perhaps their loved one makes the food for them. Or maybe the food is representative of a fond memory. For example, I eat a lot of eggs, but it didn't matter what time of day I went round to my grandmother's, she would say, do you want an egg? And so I have very fond memories associated to eggs. But how many of you, I remember someone said to my brother John Paul, they said, where do you get sweeties from? And he said, Nana's handbag. Where else do you get them from? Not the shop, you get them from Nana's handbag. So this would be a secondary gain. If there was something that you couldn't stop doing with the emotional eating, are you getting something out of it in a different way? Whether it's a fond memory, a little bit of comfort, perhaps you're bonding with a child, maybe your loved one is making the food for you and it makes you feel cared for. So this is a secondary gain, and it's really hard to give something up when there is a secondary gain. So for example, I do meet ladies that say, I really want to lose weight, I hate the size that I'm at, I don't like my body, I really have no self-acceptance, but maybe their partner or their family think that carrying a bit of weight is good. An example of that is my dad thinks the bigger you are, the better you are. For a long time, if someone loses weight, he thinks they've failed terribly. You must be dying, you must be ill. Whereas if you put weight on, he goes, oh, you look fantastic, you look amazing. And that's a different conditioning. So you might say, oh, I don't want to lose weight and everything. But if you've got someone around you telling you, oh, no, but you look great, or perhaps the bigger the better you are, or perhaps that I like something to grab hold of, or something, that's a secondary gain. So it's very difficult to change things when there is a secondary gain going on. And I want you to think about this in regards to your goals. I work with professional athletes and all kinds of people, and I did have one girl who was doing very well in sprinting and running, and we were working nutritionally and we were working on fitness, but she used to compete all the time with her best friend, and her best friend always won. And she says, I can't believe it, I can never beat her. And she reckoned she was trying really, really hard. When we did some digging on a subconscious level that she wasn't aware of initially, she feared winning because she thought that it might affect their friendship. On the surface, she didn't think this, but when we uncovered it, there was a small fear, an unconscious fear that she would affect their friendship if she beat her. We removed that fear. She's flying now. So this is all secondary gain. So to lose for her was a secondary gain, was she had a really great friendship with this person. Yeah. So I want you to think about the goals that you have, whether they be physical, mental, or emotional. I want you to think of the things that you don't want in your life anymore, the behaviours, the actions, the emotions that you no longer want or no longer serve you. Often when it comes to emotional eating, or maybe addiction to sweeties, or maybe you don't like exercise, or often these things at first served a purpose in order to keep you safe, or in order to soothe you in some way, and then over the years they've become a hindrance and they no longer serve you. But I want you to think about what you get out of it, and everyone gets something out of it. So I want you to think, do I get a secondary gain? And it might take a little bit of pondering on this. It might not be immediately available to you, the answer. And this is why we do need to maybe have a little bit of a think about it, and have a little bit of self-analysis, because if we do that, then we can guarantee we're going to uncover some things. I want to show you how powerful, and this is a funny story, but it's how powerful conditioning is, and it happens from a very young age onwards. So I grew up in pubs. My family had pubs, and I was in the pub about 4 or 5 years of age, and one of the guys in the pub went, "Oh, are you ticklish, Anna?" And I said, "No, I'm Irish." I was only 4 or 5, but it was drilled into me then. It was well and truly cemented, that neural pathway. And that's a funny story, but even at that age, I knew exactly. I'd been told enough times. So I want you to think of the things that maybe could be hindering you. So if you are an emotional eater, are you getting anything out of it? Even on a subconscious level? Is it giving you comfort in some way? Is it protecting you in some way? Are you getting attention? Yeah. As well, when people have illnesses, long-term illnesses, are you getting something out of it? Is your family being particularly lovely to you because you have this illness? Does it? I was talking to Julie the other day, and Julie says, she often uses her condition to get out of stuff. So people go, "Oh, Julie, shall we go on a night on the tiles?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't know, because I'm it's a reason to get out of stuff." So it is useful to have the condition. It's useful to have it. So I want you to think about this with your own conditions, with your own behaviours, with your own actions and emotions that you no longer want. And I completely 100% believe you when you say, "I don't want this anymore. I've had enough of this. I want to be healthy. I want to be emotionally free, psychologically free. I want to enjoy my exercise. I want to go for it. I want to be fit. I want to feel good." But if there's any secondary gain where you could be getting something out of it if you just stay exactly as you are, then that needs to be addressed. So I thought I'd just do a little talk on that to see how you get on. And sorry for the throwing of the iPad around. It's quite funny, really. I was trying to get a good angle. But yeah, have a think about that this week, because it really is important to consider. It will make such a difference to you, because if a secondary gain comes up, I want you to tell me about it, and then we can work on it together and really get to the crux of it. Once we remove that, the rest, we're on easy street. Now, January was crazy. It was mental for me as well as everybody else. So let's have a calmer, better February. I hope you're well. Have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.